Hi, everybody. This is Pooja Desai. Welcome to our very first episode of Heels and Boots on the Ground. Today, I am your Heels on the Ground, and my co host is Vivek Desai, who's also my husband. And today, he's Boots on the Ground.
Hello and thanks. Welcome everybody, and thanks for having me here. And looking forward to this.
In our very first episode today, we are going to talk about work-life balance and what does that mean to both a husband and wife duo. I will start by stating I have 27 years of healthcare experience. I am a mom. I am a wife. I am also a author of two children mental wellness books, along with a poet and a storyteller. As you can hear, I have a very, very extremely busy life. And even though I'm probably the busiest I've ever been in my entire life, I seem to have the most work life balance. And part of our seminar, we are going to talk about what work life balance not only means to just both of us, but across all industries, and give you some, share some wisdom in terms of how you can use this across all industries no matter what your field of work is. So let's start with a very complicated question from my husband. What does work-life balance mean to you, and why is it important?
Work-life balance means to me, let's see, it means that I have to find a way to spend time with you, and
Very important.
find a way to spend time with our kids, and while we're trying to work hard and achieve all the things we want to achieve for ourselves and our families, find time to play with the kids, play soccer, play basketball, spend time watching movies together, eat dinner together, have breakfast together, things like that. I try to find time each day to do a little bit of one-on-one time with you.
Very important.
And it's like one-on-one time without the phone, one-on-one time without connected to social media, without distractions, right? Watching TV sometimes and just focused attention, right?
I lose him when it comes to the television.
I can't do it with the TV, so I acknowledge that.
Completely gone.
But finding the balance between working hard, because we do spend a lot of hours working and in our multiple careers, right? So but in between all of that, each evening, each morning, taking a minute in the middle of the day to make a phone call and talk and just check in.
I think that's extremely important. So what I'm hearing is that you have an extremely supportive wife at home that helps build some of this foundation with taking some of the load off of your day-to-day so that you can focus on your career and vice versa.
Yeah, it's a partnership. We got to do it together. We got to do it for each other, so that we can have the time with each other, with the kids, and kind of juggle all the responsibilities of our day-to-day lives, right? I can't do it without you. We're partners, we're a team, right?
So how does this in your career, and feel free to, share what experience you have for the past 27 years as a developer and in the construction field and in so many different areas of your life. How do you manage to stay present when you're present?
Well, obviously it's hard to do it when I'm watching TV, but besides that, to stay present, like I said before, I got to turn off the phone, got to turn off the TV, the distractions. You got to remove some of the distractions, but I try to, like I said, we got to communicate. We got to check in, see how the other person's feeling, and really understand what they're going through, because otherwise, you're not really connecting and having that balance and understanding what the other person's dealing with on a day-to-day basis or a week-to-week basis or over a longer period of time. You really, without the distractions for the other person or myself, what I try to do is try to really understand how somebody's feeling, or stressed or not stressed, or overwhelmed or worried about something, whether it be something at work or whether it's something at school for the kids, or whether it's a another family member that we're worried about, which is all the things that are always there on top of the day-to-day stresses of our jobs. And I try to be present fully for that also, right? So, making sure our employees that work for us and our teammates and colleagues are really engaged and working and being productive, right? It's the same kind of concept, but you got to do it at home too. You got to do it in both places. So being able to be present is very important by listening and letting the other people that you're communicating with, whether it be at home or at work, really express themselves and let them know that they can express themselves, and it's not just saying, "Hey, how you doing?" and keep walking, right? Like not just as a greeting. It's actually, you're really interested in how they're doing, right? And just making sure they understand that, right?
No, I mean, I completely understand, because especially in the field that you work in, or even in the fields that I work in, being engaged is extremely important, right? We know that engagement is really linked to success, which is evident across all fields. The more engaged you are, or the more engaged an employee is, the better chance of a successful return on investment, right? So I think those are important.
And
Also being present.
Yeah, and that applies being engaged with your spouse or with your kid and really listening to them also is important, right? So I think it translates to both worlds, but differently. But there is some similarities there in
No,
really listening.
I think the listening, one thing that I believe, is a piece of wisdom that I've learned, is really remaining flexible daily, because we both have extremely busy lifestyles. So at any given moment, he may need to leave at earlier. So that means, I'm engaging with picking up or dropping off our child, or vice versa. I might need to, do something for my career, either one of those, or jump on a plane because we're in the middle of a tour and the whole family ends up going. So remaining flexible is super important, because I really do throw at him like, oh, today we're getting on a plane to go to Tampa. We have storytelling, and book signing event.
Yeah.
And I think that is probably what has shook up this family the most.
I think, being adaptable to the change from day to day and week to week, being able to roll with it and just kind of adjust and trying to make the best of a situation or enjoy it, or really like if it's not exactly what you expected, you gotta adjust and adapt. But yeah, it's just really enjoying the time together, right? I think that's what I try to do as much as I can with whenever we have time together, right? So because like those trips, while I sometimes not expected, we do it, we enjoy it, we make fun trips and memories, and you do fun little excursions along with the book tour, and we have a good time with that, and we have some great memories with our family, and
I think stuff. That also helps us, right? Like I really feel in my area of the career that linking passion and purpose together also makes it a fun little adventure, right? And I think, having a supportive village, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your friends, we're today we're representing as a dynamic duo of how a husband and wife support each other. And we really do. I mean, it's honestly so fun working with him. I know that there's a lot of challenges. People say that when you actually work with your wife, it could be a little hard. And it is, right? It could be, but
yeah, it can be.
It can be. We get on each other's nerves, believe it or not. I really annoy him. But at the same time,
not really.
No, not even a little bit. No, not today.
Sometimes.
Not for our listeners. See, happy wife, happy life, how that works. But still in all, I think supporting, finding that village, right? Because I'm very lucky to have him and vice versa. He's very lucky to have me too. But he hasn't said that yet, but we'll get him there. It is the first episode. But having a strong foundation and people to support you, I know that there was a time where I wasn't very supported within my career, or even in a family setting. So to have someone that actually helps grow you into a better human, whether that's, a friend, a husband, a wife, your children, people who you don't even know. I've made so many really strong relationships with friends that were strangers at one point, but because of the level of support and wanting to see us win, they became family.
Yep.
And, the beauty of it is you're going to get to experience meeting so many people through this platform that really have the resilience to continue to move forward with no matter what business they do, and just to be able to give all our listeners a piece of that is really what we're grateful and humble and excited to do. So with that being said, I'm going to ask you, as a knowledge donor, what is a piece of wisdom that you would like to share with our listeners?
I have no idea.
That's good. That's a good start.
Let's see. Related to boots on the ground, I guess. I would start with my career. I learned about how to manage a wide range of people. I had to manage from college graduates or high school students, in some cases interns, all the way up to working with 60-year-old people, a wide range of people that are different levels of experience. So one thing that I learned was that, and that I would like to share, is that when in my world, I've learned that you got to be able to communicate with people with a lot of different experience levels, from people with 40 years of experience to no experience. And one of the things I realized is that asking questions, not assuming what they do or do not know, and talking to somebody or communicating with somebody at work without aggressiveness, or like kindness. Like I think you had talked about this before, like bringing a level of kindness or level of some, I don't know, civility, but like just
With a human touch.
with a touch, right? Like just being able to talk to them and just kind of talk to them as not only a friend or a colleague or a coworker, but just like being able to relate to them and getting them to be comfortable, right? And I think that's one thing, and being able to connect with them, right? Like getting them to connect and like then getting them comfortable, right? And then being able to work with them, right? To be able to do that is one of the things I learned in my 27 years in working in construction, real estate, development, working with contractors, working with executives, investment companies, property management, across all of those fields. That is the one thing I realize, that connecting with somebody, having some kindness, understanding their perspective, and then no matter what they know or don't know, or whatever level of experience they have, I think that helped me so much in all of those situations over the last 27 years. Being able to relate to them and really connect with them on a personal level a little bit, even if it's just a little bit, really enables you to work better together, I think.
I can understand that. And I think that something I also learned from my husband was you can't hold someone responsible for something that's only in your head. And being an effective communicator and actually making sure that someone understands exactly what's expected of them, where I think that you could really connect with kindness, connect your purpose, connect your vision, and manage those expectations. So that way there is no uncertainty of what your kind of, not to say your marching orders, but what your expectation is of whether it's your employee, your relationship, your children, friendships, and setting clear boundaries as well, to make sure that you understand with yourself when you're present in any situation, you can't be where you were 5 minutes ago. And what I mean by that is when I'm at home, I'm at home, I'm present at home. I'm not thinking about work unless I get a phone call. And then I do have to obviously take those calls. When I'm at work, I'm thinking about work and I'm not thinking about home. I'm not thinking about missing out on any soccer games or anything of that sort. Um, I think by being present, when present, you get rid of the guilt of not being somewhere different in the past nor the future. What Vivek has taught me, I think it's time for you to hear what I have taught my husband.
Um, what I've learned from you with regards to work-life balance is, you know, I think there's many things. I sometimes um didn't turn off when I was younger. I didn't turn it off. I kind of just worked. I worked a lot of hours. I kind of just came home. I ate some dinner. I wasn't always present. I was sometimes present when I was younger, and then I realized I wasn't fully present, like you were saying. Like being present is very important. And if we're eating dinner together, we're talking, but I'm thinking about something else in the back of my head, right? And that's really not being present. So, and sometimes I would eat dinner and then I would go back to my computer and do more work, or I would stay at work very late because I would think I need to, spend more time at work, and thus it was taking away from our family time, and which I realized over time it helped me realize that, and it was really Pooja helped me do that, is to really find that balance. Because as you grow, when I was younger, I was like, oh, I need to work hard. I need to prove to them I can do this, and really, go up the ladder and all those kind of things in your mind that you think you have to do, which, yeah, in some cases you do. You do have to work hard, but you got to have a work-life balance, and you got to enjoy your life, right? You got to enjoy your life with the people that you love. And over time, I got much better at it. I learned also how to communicate and express myself a little bit better from Pooja. I wasn't much of a talker. I didn't really express my
No PDA.
no. Well, there was some PDA, but it wasn't like I didn't really express my feelings as much, right? Like, guys are not known to express how they feel. They're just like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm all right. I'm fine. And then they kind of like brush it under the rug, right? So guys just, all tough, and they don't want to talk about their feelings. But
not all.
Yeah, not
we just
all.
had to work on him.
No, but from the world my young adulthood and my early career, I was around a lot of construction and real estate and finance, and those that didn't lend itself to how do you feel. Like, it wasn't. They didn't care how you felt. I had to work, and I had to be tough, and I had to do what I had to do, and power through it. But I that translated into my personal life, which wasn't. It shouldn't have, right? And so I learned how to adjust from my work life to my personal life, and figure out how to communicate better, to how to express myself better, better, how to articulate myself better, right? Like to be clear on what I wanted, or what I felt, or what I wanted to convey to you, or to the kids, or to my mom, or to my dad, or whoever, or family, and just I think I got a lot better at that. I think that's one thing that Pooja really helped me with.
So, if I'm hearing you correctly, I brought kindness and awareness into your life. And with that, do you feel that your perspective has changed now as an adult family man versus where you were 27 years ago when you first started?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think for both of us, it's changed, right? Like, we worked, we maintained whatever we had to do for home and family, but we worked, and we were trying to earn earn a lot of money so we could, support our family. And it was a different time, right? You're younger, you want to go hang out with your friends, you want to go out, restaurants, bars, you want to go do all those kind of things. And you're thinking, oh, I'm going to work, I'm going to go hang out. But, there was like that family component that definitely changed my perspective, right? We got kids, right? So that makes a difference.
Big difference.
Yeah. And then on top of that, like, instead of hanging out with your friends, I prefer hanging out with you. It's definitely changed, right? So, we like one-on-one time, sometimes just hanging out in the backyard, or sometimes just going for a walk. It has definitely changed from going to the bar or going to a restaurant or going to meet up with a group of people.
Right. No, I think that, as we get busier, even in our careers, I think one thing that I focus the most on is making sure that I get to spend quality time with him. We carve out date night, we carve out family time too, and independent time with the children as well. But I think having that alone time, especially, when you've been married for so long, right, to make sure that that level of companionship, compassion, friendship develops over time, especially when your careers are pulling you in so many different ways. And especially when you also manage a lot of people, because that also pulls you in different ways. So having that strong foundation with your spouse of knowing, hey, this is the time we're carving out for each other, because we need to, because it's not something that you can just brush under the rug. You have to stay focused on each other, because that's ultimately what pulled you into any relationship, right? And that could also relate to any career you're in, because as much as you work for an establishment or you own your own business, you show up every day and you make sure you're present in those situations because you choose to be, because this is where you choose to work. And giving them that dedication the same way we give our family a dedication, our careers, our businesses, our cat, all of that matters. And, I'm very grateful and humbled to be able to do it with such a phenomenal partner, on all ends, not just as a CFO managing my money or his own business. He finds time to also indulge in mine and making sure that I'm okay. And whatever path forward I'm choosing for my career is going to be something that's beneficial to the family as well. So it doesn't take away from the family. Instead, it adds to the family. And I think if anything we leave you with today is knowing that you can have it all if you choose to have it all. And I think that starts with your mindset. So wait for one of those episodes where we'll be talking about mindset. But for today, I think that work-life balance would be very dull and boring without you.
100%. I can't do it without you.
But with that being said, I think that if, this is our first episode, we're going to see how it goes. There's going to be a couple more. And if you would like to be part of it, please reach out to us, Heels and Boots on the Ground. We will have plenty of things to talk about. As you can tell, this is going to be structured just to have fun while we're doing this. And you get to learn a lot of different wisdom from a lot of different knowledge donors. So thank you so much once again. I'm Pooja Desai, your Heels on the Ground.
Vivek Desai here.
And he's your boots on the ground. Yeah. And my husband, which is the most important thing. So we see you again.